How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about NIO. This one has been heavily requested, and since my prior video I was telling you guys what the risk can look like to the downside, and of course that is now coming together with the current prices of where it's trading at. But there's other factors that you need to know, and we're going to discuss it in this video. I won't waste any more time, so let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for NIO. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $16.07, being down 9.57%. On the low, it tested $16.07, and then on the high, testing $18.13. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 93.265 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 75.766 million shares. So we did have above average volume on the day, but you could tell we dealt with a good amount of selling pressure. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it's at 31.81. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And it's very clear to see that NIO is in a bear market, trading below all of our major moving averages. And if you guys can see, I was actually taking a look at the chart in the previous video, and I put this horizontal line in to let you know we could have a potential pullback going to around $15.69. So I suggest you take a look at that last NIO video that I created, because I had a good idea it was going to be coming down to this level. We haven't got to $15.69 as of yet, but I could see it for the coming week, so that's one thing you want to be aware of. If we break through $15.69, then the next level that we want to actually keep an eye on to see if NIO can hold will be right here around $13.45. Now, if you're looking for a bullish reversal, NIO is going to have to come back to the $20 level, and that is a lot to ask considering how volatile the markets are. We know as far as for the next earnings, it's going to be on March the 24th. So if we do get a reversal and we're able to get back to 20, then we're going to want to see it actually have some strength above $21 or $21.50 to be exact, and then seeing if it can gain some more momentum. But with the current conditions that we are in, like I said, I am just not seeing that. I can see the selling continue. So let's see how the stock performs for the coming week, and I'll continue to keep you guys updated. Now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for NIO. Scrolling down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings for March, we have City State Bank that purchased 500 shares, and then we also have BOKFNA that purchased 17,865 shares. We also have Norges Bank that purchased, there we go, just over 13.7 million shares. And then we also have Saget Value Holdings Limited that purchased 1,300 shares. And then we also have Parkside Financial Bank and Trust that purchased 200 shares. So we see institutions have been showing some interest. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 36.75%. And then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 17.06 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability volatility is at 10 million, updated 6 minutes ago. And then for the short ball fee rate being at 0.25%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 10th, it was at 44.51. And then for the close of the 11th, so for the Friday that just passed, it was at 36.75. So what this shows us, NIO does continue to have short squeeze potential. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for NIO. So we see here on the inflow it's at 275, and then on the outflow it's at 250. So we had an inflow day, and keep in mind these numbers are in the millions. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 1.51, on the medium it was 190, and then on the small it was 83.92. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 4.93, on the medium it was 179, and then on the small it was 66.31. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for March the 11th, for the Friday that just passed, it was at negative 3.42 million. But on the 10th, we had an inflow of 2.32 million, and in the 2 prior days to that, we had outflows as well, with an inflow day on the 7th. So what this shows us, for the past 5 trading days, we've had 3 outflow days. Taking a look at the breakdown even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 5.86%. So this is up there for a stock like NIO, and considering the volatility we've been seeing inside of these markets, we can't be surprised about it. But one thing that is very clear though, it does show that many are still holding on to their positions, but again, many traders are getting in, playing off of the fluctuations. So let's jump into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for NIO, before we get into the price action, here's some factors that we need to talk about. The first one being are the geopolitical issues. As we see what's going down in the media, they're saying that China is supporting Russia. We know Russia's in a war with the Ukraine. We know the America has come out with sanctions condemning their actions. So you could see from an institution standpoint, are they really going to want to hold on to shares of Chinese companies? No, there's going to be more selling pressure. We already know there's selling pressure inside of the market as a whole, and Chinese stocks are going to even feel it even more. We also have to take into consideration of the fact delisting. We see as far as for the SEC, they're cracking down on Chinese companies, and this can move on even further. And knowing that NIO has this exposure, again, many investors do not want to hold these stocks. But of course, with that fear, if you are a long-term investor, there could be an opportunity for you to take advantage of. But you also have to understand the risks that are involved. And this is why you could see, even though the market has been selling off, Chinese stocks, they're selling off even further. And with NIO having this pullback in the price, it's still technically overvalued. It could still come down some more, and that's why I say you want to keep this on your watch list if you're interested in this company for the long term. In regards to the price action now, if we continue to have a pullback, I want to see if we could hold up support at $15.69. If this level does break, then we can get down to around $13.50. So keep these levels added to your homework and as well as your due diligence, especially if you're looking to make a play inside of this stock. I myself personally, for this coming week, I see some more downside pressure. I know they do have earnings that's coming out towards the end of the month. I think it's for March the 24th. So that's another thing that you want to keep an eye on. As far as if we continue to have a pullback, like I said, it doesn't look too good. It is trading below all of our major moving averages. And if you are thinking to go long looking for a bounce, again, it's going to be very, very risky. I want to make sure I'm being very clear about that. And I would not be getting into this play as far as for a swing unless it's able to do a reversal and we see some price action above $20. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. No surprises there. Shorts are going to be all over this play, taking advantage of all of the things that are happening in the market, especially when it comes to Chinese stocks. But when we see the recent institutional ownership, institutions have been loading up on shares as well. But we also have to understand, as far as those filings, those are just for the date. That is not the date of the purchase. So that's one thing you want to be aware of. And if you are going to be going into NIO for a trading aspect, as far as what it looks like on the option side, puts are printing. As far as for calls, I'd only do it if you could see a quick bounce off of the support levels. But again, I won't be playing it. If you are going to be playing it, I wish you the best of luck. But if you're a long-term investor in NIO, this will be of no concern to you whatsoever because you're going to be taking advantage of those dip opportunities. I'd highly suggest you use a dollar cost averaging approach. Of course, I can't give you guys financial advice, but at the same time, the last thing that you want to do is go all in with a position and catch yourself in the middle of a falling knife. If it's going to continue to keep coming down, why not just be patient and get some more shares at a better price so you can ride that upside later on. And before I close this video out, there are many people who keep on comparing NIO to Tesla. These are two different companies. You cannot treat them as the same. Tesla is an American company and NIO is a Chinese company. Unfortunately, inside of the market, Chinese companies are looked down upon. And also we have to take into consideration of the fact market capitalization, shares outstanding. Take a look at all of these figures and that'll give you a good idea what price action could potentially look like. But again, I'm not hating on Chinese stocks whatsoever. I'm actually a huge fan of Alibaba, but with all of the geopolitical issues that are going on and in the delisting fears, it's not going to be looked at as well inside of the market. And this also reminds me of a popular saying that comes from Warren Buffett. Be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. So when it comes to Chinese stocks, or for NIO, since this is a NIO video, this could definitely be an opportunity for watch list and after doing your due diligence, wanting to take advantage of the pullback. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and we'll be talking real soon.